What's up, guys? Oh, sorry, I almost forgot that the glare in my glasses get in my eyes. What's up, guys? Mr. Music Fan here, and yes, I know I've been realizing a lot that you guys have been wanting me to go on a review of Linkin Park's latest studio album, Living Things. You guys have been asking me tons and tons of times to review that particular album. Yes, I will be getting to that album hopefully soon. Yes, I will be reviewing the record, and I have listened to the record, and I can definitely say it's awesome and everything. But first, there's a gigantic old score I would like to settle with, and that score is with this album, this particular album, Linkin Park's fourth studio album, a thousand. Wait a minute. Did I review this record already? Look, look, Linkin Park. No, 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 no. You're not this, okay? You're not this piece of crap, all right? You're not an electronic band. You're not a dance club band. You're not a pop band. You are a heavy new metal rock band. Expected a lot more from you guys. I expected for you guys to just wake from your senses and just realize that your first thing was your best thing. Oh yeah. Oh, I remember now. I did make a so-called review of this record. Well, to be perfectly honest, guys, I'm not sure how all of you are going to react. Maybe a lot of you guys who are watching this video right now are probably old school Linkin Park fans who prefer Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory and Meteora. Maybe some of you are new school fans who love their new stuff, their new material. But I'm more or less speaking to the old school crowd. Not all of them, but some. I don't know how else to explain this, and honestly, this has been bothering me for the past 8 months. But honestly, guys, that review that I made, but that particular review that I made back last year isn't actually a review, nor is it a proper review in the sense that if you listen closely, and now go with me here, go back to that review that I made of A Thousand Suns, of this record, and listen very closely to how I speak. Listen very closely to the way I word things in that review, and also the way how I react to the words in that review. Like, for instance, Linkin Park sold out. Linkin Park changed their sound. Linkin Park are not Hybrid Theory anymore. They sound like bubblegum pop. They sound like crap. Like those like they are a new metal band. They're not a electronic band. They're not a pop band. They're not this. They're not that. They're strictly new metal. That's what they're supposed to be. And any fan who loves their new stuff are a blind bunch of twats, or like just look at that. And now this is not meant to be a confrontational thing, but just look at the way I word things. Now, does that actually sound like like a particular fan base, or even some very few people within that fan base talking, speaking about the record, and not even from a logical standpoint or a logical point of view of saying I don't like this record because this and that and this. I am just talking about the utter rage, the utter anger, the vulgarity. Just look all over YouTube. Go on, just type Linkin Park A Thousand Suns review, and a majority of the reviews that you will get are people who, first of which, rightly expressing their opinion, because 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 again, like not everybody can like the same sort of music all the time. Not everybody will gravitate to a particular album at the same time. Because we're all of us music listeners, all of us music lovers, appreciators of music are most definitely not the same. What I listen to and what I like are probably things that you probably don't like, and things that you probably could particularly like and love and listen to are probably things that I don't necessarily like. That's fine. That's okay. We're all different. Like not all of us love, hard pounding metal in your ears, like throughout all the same songs and whatever, like not all of us gravitate to that. Nor do all of us kind of gravitate to electronic experimentation, or, like, I mean, that's perfectly fine. I am not trying to claim a superiority, or I'm not trying to claim that old school Linkin Park are better or new school Linkin Park are better. Because that's ever since the release of A Thousand Suns, that's what's been been the prevalent, intense, heated argument. It's not so much even an argument, but it's more like an internal fan war, like World War III, literally, like within the Linkin Park fan base. Old school Linkin Park fans very cherishly holding Hybrid Theory, mainly Hybrid Theory and Meteor, but mostly Hybrid Theory, near and dear, precious to their hearts for a lot of different reasons: sentimental reasons, reasons of nostalgia, reasons that the record just sounds more immediate and awesome to them, which I find perfectly fine. Like a ton of different reasons. Like, they are the very first Linkin Park fans that established Linkin Park's fan credibility. And then there are others amongst the new school fan base who like have already heard their fair share of Hybrid Theory. They've heard their fair share of the typical like rock guitar in a chorus or hip hop in a verse type of thing that Linkin Park, even especially after Meteor, has just become so synonymous and so known for. And and especially with the release of A Thousand Suns, they literally broke the Linkin Park mold and embraced a record that not only is musically engaging and musically challenging, but also a record that pretty much breaks all the Linkin Park rules that they even established themselves and rebuilt into something new. Like, and they cherish the band for that, for being ambitious, for being creative and clever. Old school Linkin Park fans see that as being as the band being extremely pretentious, as seeing as the band are rising way above their normal station into areas lyrically, musically, and even creatively, into sets that in a way Linkin Park should not even be in. Linkin Park should never have departed from the new metal scene. Linkin Park should have never have created a song called When They Come For Me, which told them to F off and whatever. And the anger is a feeling of betrayal amongst the old school Linkin Park fan base, that after all of them putting a ton of hard work into their money, into supporting the band in the early days, they kind of seem very betrayed in a sense. Honestly, I feel that a lot of the anger stems from this album's sound being not new metal, not catchy, and Mike Shinoda not rapping, like completely layered with electronic experimentation and not Hybrid Theory like metal, which a lot of old Linkin Park fans want from Linkin Park. And that plus the fact that they feel betrayed are mostly, from what I've seen and from what I've read, like the big gigantic reasons of a ton of just vilifying and antagonistic anger that a lot of the old school Linkin Park fans have against the band and against this record in particular. A lot of the new school crowd often accuses the old school crowd of being very close-minded, of being knuckleheaded, of like, oh, you're just into metal and you don't diversify, you don't you don't appreciate different sets of music. You're just closed in your little in-boxed case shell. All you're ever going to do is just hate on Linkin Park, hate on Linkin Park, say very nasty, ugly things to them, even down to a personal kind of sense. You guys are just, you guys are just mean. You guys are nasty. You like, why would we even be in the same venue with the band live as you guys are? Like, you guys make us so terrible. And see what I mean? It's this back and forth, back and forth. I hate you, you hate me. I will throw dirt at you until you're on the ground. I don't know. Just that kind of rhetoric. Honestly, from particularly both sides of the spectrum of the argument. Impartially though, I would think that's a good thing, because in order for us to understand each other as fans, or understand each other as different people or different music listeners, we kind of have to have this kind of discourse. We have to have this type of conversation. Otherwise, we would all just be mindless thinking robots. But on the other hand, the other thing that's alarming to me is just the over exaggeration, the anger, the rhetoric, the feeling of betrayal that especially a ton of YouTube users around YouTube have made their view clear to the band, that they feel betrayed. They feel bought off, and rightly thrown away by the band per se, and especially feel as if they were used by the band as stepping stones into a more commercial viability and whatever. And a lot of their anger kind of stems from that, especially with the sound of this record not being what they're used to, the sound of Linkin Park not being what they see as Linkin Park, and the feeling of betrayal that they're not the Linkin Park that they used to know. In the last A Thousand Suns review that I made, I sounded very harsh. I sounded very scathing. I sounded very antagonistic. I sounded very insulting to the most utmost vulgarity, to the utmost extreme. And essentially, what I was trying to do with that video was to kind of sum up this feeling of betrayal amongst old Linkin Park, feelings and intense anger and rage at it. If you look at the video, there are some things that I say, there are some things that I've put in the script that a ton of old school Linkin Park fans have said throughout the 2 years since this record was released. A lot of betrayal, a lot of anger against the band themselves. And I I made that because I wanted to kind of over exaggerate those over exaggerations. I wanted to sum up the feelings that they, all of them, were feeling, especially some here on YouTube, which I've seen countless of times. But and now some will kind of see this as me attacking their opinion. It's one thing, at least for me, it's one thing to say an opinion, to say I don't like this for this particular reason. Like and now in the era of the internet, there is no reason anymore, especially on YouTube. There is no reasoning with the internet anymore. It's all about these over exaggeration statements, all fueling and all stem from just anger, from emotion, from just unrestrained feeling. Like, not to say that I want people to act like robots and have no feeling necessarily, but there's just too much of the anger, too much of the extreme over exaggerations that have appeared, especially with this record and especially with this band's new phase and the reaction towards it. Now, am I trying to say that old school Linkin Park fans should not vent their feelings about the record? Am I saying that they shouldn't do that? Of course not. I'm not trying to say that. It is okay for old school Linkin Park fans to criticize this record. It's okay for them to to even have like even so much like criticize the band. Except the one problem is that the criticisms that they give out to the record and to the band are not constructive at all. In fact, they are far from constructive. A lot of the arguments that old school, hardcore old school Linkin Park fans throw at this record and even at the band are probably going to anger a lot of people here, but like are probably as childish and as immature as let's use an analogy here. Let's use an analogy, a metaphor, real quick. A You have this mother. You have this mother and her baby. The baby loves pizza, so the baby wants her mom to give the baby pizza. He wants his mother to give him pizza. But she realizes that, well, too much pizza is not good for him. So you know what? Instead, I'll give him vegetables. I'll give him a salad. So she gives him a salad instead. But because that baby desired for that slice of pizza because he loves it so good and fattening and junky and whatever, like the baby then doesn't like politely say no or whatever, obviously because he's a baby. A baby doesn't reason that much at that age. But the point I'm trying to say here is that like the baby then just smacks the bowl of salad, the bowl of vegetables out of her hand, and then starts going into a whiny fit and just cries and yells and screams, I want pizza, I want pizza, like you're the most horrible mommy ever. I don't know, maybe not that extreme, but my point is that a ton of the comments coming from the old school fans pretty much feel like that. I've watched tons and tons and tons of videos. I've read tons of reviews, and all kind of conclude not to this slightly immature feeling. Hold on, old school Linkin Park fans. Let me explain this first before I go forward. Because I use the word immature and because I apply it to you guys, that does not mean that I'm calling you old school Linkin Park fans. Maybe some of you have even posted hateful negative reviews about the record and against the band personally. Just because I applied the word immature to you guys doesn't mean that I think you guys personally are immature. In fact, that's part of the criticism I have of the new school fan base who actually love the record A Thousand Suns is actually something that I have a problem with. That they think that the old school crowd are very close-minded. They're very knuckleheaded. They're nasty. They're stuff. Like, and honestly, like I think even the old school crowd, I feel, are just greatly misunderstood too. And that's because it's like their feelings, their reaction toward the record is just only simply just as natural. Like, I mean, I've come across my fair shares of getting used to an artist's particular signature sound, a signature style, only to feel as if that artist changes his style, changes her style, and whatever, changes their style into something I don't like or I'm not comfortable with. And sure, I end up getting pretty pissed off. I end up getting really, really angry, thinking that how can this so and so do this and whatever, so so for the old school fans to be called close-minded and to be called mean, nasty, ugly, that's not quite a fair judgment. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure there are old school fans who, even though they dislike A Thousand Suns, they don't like Linkin Park's new sound, they still respect the band. They still respect them as six genuine good people who just love music. And even though they even have their own reservations about the band's new sound, it doesn't take away them from their respect of them. So I feel that the old school fans are misunderstood in that regard by the new schooler fans. But here's the other thing that also kind of bothers me. The criticism from the old school fan base to the new school fan base saying you are blind. In order for you to be respectable or to be, you have to question the fan base. And by questioning the fan base, we mean you have to say that they sold out. You have to say mean, nasty, ugly things about them. You have to say ugly, nasty things about the record. You have to say that they're all useless bunch of twats and whatever. You have to be mean. You have to be nasty. You have to like troll on the band, troll on the album. Like then yeah, you're questioning them. You're going against their popness or something. Like I mean, I cannot even begin to tell you how many times I've heard this, how many times I've read this, how many times I have seen these types of comments go in and out around, which honestly, that kind of leads me to my real feelings about this record. The previous review that I made, pretty much was simply summing up all the over exaggerations that the more militant, the more extreme old school Linkin Park fans have been saying about this record and about the band for 2 years going, actually. You know, and so yeah, honestly, that last review was a bit of a tease. Like not to all Linkin Park, I mean old school Linkin Park fans. Like because I say again that like I am a ginormous fan of Hybrid Theory. I love Hybrid Theory. I think Hybrid Theory is one of their best records ever. Maybe one of the best musical records ever released ever. Like I love the song In the End. I love Crawling. I love like Pushing Me Away, even though that's kind of like technically my least favorite track of the record, but that's goes but anyway, I still love Hybrid Theory. I still love the songs of Hybrid Theory. I think Hybrid Theory is a great, fantastic album that even with a record like A Thousand Suns just cannot be matched in sheer power and veracity. But here's kind of the thing though. Here's kind of the thing. That last video that I made of A Thousand Suns, the one where I just go crazy and start saying all sorts of stuff, that they're not my real feelings of this record. In fact, that one was just a bit of a tease. It was a bit of a tease. It was not a real video. In fact, so if you could sum that up, it was kind of a bit of a mock-up. Not to all Linkin Park fans. I mean, old school Linkin Park fans, by the way, but just to extremist Linkin Park fans, extremist old school Linkin Park fans. Because the stuff that they said, that they've been saying over the last 2 years, has just really grinded my bones to just, even to the point, where the way they say things don't factor on opinion. They factor more on just simply vengeful, angry feelings, like, and just vengeful, I don't even know how to use the word, just utter negative over exaggeration. And that's the problem. The old school fan base I have a problem with, not expressing their opinions about what they feel about the record. I'm not even trying to tell you old school Linkin Park fans that you have to love the record. Like this is, I'm talking far from that. It is right for you guys, for all of you guys watching on YouTube right now, old school Linkin Park fans. It is right for you guys to actually do question the band. It is right for you to have a different opinion. But when that opinion then becomes overtaken by just angry emotional feelings, and you vent them out like on YouTube and on like and whatever, it just even going so far as to even attack the other side of saying that like you are all blind, you're all just blind people, like that's really insulting. That's utterly insulting. It's like I mean, like, like, I don't technically go up to you and say like, "Oh, you're just a blind metal fan. You love Hybrid Theory so much." Now I'm not trying to be the bigger guy here. I know I'm kind of going like, over the limit, like 27 minutes and 13 seconds. Like, but just hear me out with this one. Um, the the previous review was still a mock-up of that, not of the opinions, the more rationale opinions of old school Linkin Park fans. Not, and not all of them. It was not a video that was meant to go after all of them, but it was more towards those specific individuals who makes those type of over exaggerations. Like, from what from how I acted out in that video. Again, if you watch the video, I say a lot of different over exaggerated stuff that they often say, and it was meant to kind of like be a mock-up of what they said. Like, so even though I acted out seriously, it wasn't really meant to be taken seriously. Like, but now what do I really feel? What if that's not my real opinion? Is if the video was actually not my real feelings, then what are my real feelings about this record? This is something I have been keeping to myself for like 2 years straight, just running around and whatever. And you know what, guys? I just can't hide it any longer. I know I'm anticipating that some of you old school Linkin Park fans will maybe um, just write on the comment sections down below a lot of similar hateful, over exaggerated stuff, hateful, over exaggerated comments, like, and just you're just gonna flame me and everything, and you know what? That's perfectly fine with me, because anything that anybody says or do will be criticized either way. So there's it's no different here. Like, I might even face a potential of loss of subscribers. Like, but I really, this is something I cannot hide anymore. I can't keep this to myself anymore. I've been keeping this to myself for the past 2 years without virtually telling anybody, for fear that I will be called blind, for fear that I will be called a pop troll or something, for fear that I will be just mangled and taken apart by not old school Linkin Park fans, but by these certain fans who are just seeing a different point of view that gets them angered and riled up and just makes them want to attack the other person in a very negative, personal way. Like, but honestly, I've been watching this for far too long, and you know what? I'm just gonna come out with it right now. I don't technically hate this record. I don't technically like this record either. I love this record. Yeah, I love A Thousand Suns. I really, really, really love the record. In fact, in fact, I can even deem this record the band's, Linkin Park's, Chester, Mike, Rob, Phoenix, and Brad's crowning masterpiece. It is a fantastic, a wonderful, creative, inventive, genre changing, genre busting, musically artistic, musically expansive, musically consoling, compassionate, epic, sweeping nature of a record that I personally feel within my utmost soul, with my utmost heart, that this record truly, for me, is their best record ever. And that's the truth. That is truly, genuinely my true feelings about this record. And I'm not ashamed to say that that I really, really love this record. It's their best record ever. And of course, not to say that the other records are crap. You know, like they are by no means they're not the records crap. Not even minutes to midnight, which is even still my least favorite, but it's still good. But but this record, I think, A Thousand Suns, has really taken a very giant place within my musical conscience, within my musical heart, and it's been a record that I've been listening for 2 years straight. It's been a record that I have tons of time just swelling in the lyrics, swelling in the musical landscapes of this record. It seems that like they destroyed everything that fans knew of them. They destroyed all the boxes that have kept them holding in from new metal, from like that box that they built themselves in, starting with Hybrid Theory. Again, not to call that record bad, because I also love Hybrid Theory, and have created a work of art, a grand masterpiece that not only your speaks to your senses, but speaks to your soul, speaks to your spirit. And so, guys, that's my honest truth. To those who might probably feel a little bit offended about how I made that initial review, first and foremost, like, and will probably be offended or whatever, like, then sorry, but I felt compelled to do that. I felt the need to kind of tell the majority of the old school Linkin Park fan base that you're not going to get everything that you want. I can't get everything that I want. Like, but I can still definitely say that this record has spoken volumes to me, and that this record truly, 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 truly is the band's best ever record. So that's my Linkin Park confession to you guys, to YouTube, to even the band members themselves. And I truly love this record. I really truly love A Thousand Suns, and yeah, that's all I can say. It's all I can do. It's all I can feel, and take it or leave it, like it or love it, like him. But it's just how I feel, and yeah. If you're kind of wondering of why I'm not actually doing another proper review, of an actual review, a real review of this record, I am. I am gonna go on an actual proper review of this record, with an actual proper review. But I just felt compelled of getting this out of my chest, because this has been stuck in me for the past 2 years, and I was just too like chicken crap to just actually come out and say it. And I couldn't gotten angry. I could have gotten much more vocal about it. But you know what? There's just far too much noise going around. There's far um too much anger being thrown around, and I just wanted to share this as an honest piece with you guys. So I don't know how you're going to receive it, but hopefully this will clear up a lot of things um that have been confused in the midst over the past couple of months. So yeah, please do expect an actual review of this record with my actual real feelings, and like it or love it or hate it or whatever it is with you guys. I can't change your minds. I can't change anyone's minds. All I can do is just express my feelings and my own particular perspective on this record, and what do I think about it. So yeah, that's the truth, and that's all I can say. Mr. Music Fan, Linkin Park, A Thousand Suns, actual real review gonna come, hopefully very soon. And so, guys, be on the lookout for that. Mr. Music Fan, signing out. Take care, guys. You're awesome.